The annual Catholic Appeal, continuing the tradition of neighbor helping neighbor, responding to Pope Francis's call to serve with love, serving our brothers and sisters throughout life's journey, caring for the less fortunate, walking with those in need. Make your donation of time, talent, or treasure online at diospringfield.org and help us to help our neighbors in need. Support the annual Catholic Appeal.
Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
I'm Julie Beaulieu. Learn how people with Alzheimer's and dementia cope through faith.
I'm Terry Hegarty at Camp Holy Cross in Goshen. I'll tell you how Hispanic youths have been brought closer to the Lord through the 25th annual Encuentro weekend.
And a relic of St. Anthony of Padua is coming to the Diocese of Springfield. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel.
From throughout Western New England and beyond, this is Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Rulier.
Hello and welcome to Reel on this last weekend of June. Well, we know that Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia can take a harsh toll on those affected and their loved ones as well. But as Julie Beaulieu tells us, faith and spirituality can play an important and positive role in the lives of those confronting these issues.
It beats you down and it gets you extremely depressed, to the point where you just rather not go on.
It's very hard.
It is.
And it's changed your life.
Oh, life with me ended about 5 years ago. Life, I don't have a so-called life, I enjoy being with her. I love her now as much as I loved her when I married her. There's no change.
As Donald's beloved wife and lifelong partner began to develop memory loss in 2007, his life, along with hers, was permanently changed forever. His wife now believes she is around 20 before she met and married him. Therefore, she no longer can identify Donald as her husband. Strong Catholic faith continues to guide them through this difficult journey that they endure together.
With the faith, the one beautiful thing there is that when you're really down and out, at night, you can talk to somebody, and you talk to God.
Many of us have heard of the brain disease Alzheimer's and may think it is a disease affecting memory loss in older adults. So what is dementia? Is it the same as Alzheimer's? And what role can faith play in coping with this horrible disease? Ramona Williams, chaplain at Mount St. Vincent Care Center in Holyoke, addresses these questions.
It starts off with some cognitive loss. That's not the ability to not be able to do the things that they used to be able to do. And it does include memory loss, short-term memory loss, but there's more to it than just the short-term memory loss. And one of the things I always say to people, you never know for sure until you go to a neurologist or a psychologist or to a psychiatric physician to really go through all the tests that you need to go through, because it's important to really differentiate what is happening with your loved one.
Alzheimer's is one form of dementia. Another common form of dementia is vascular dementia. Because faith, or organized religion, is learned and practiced during childhood and is repetitive, people with dementia retain religious practices for a long time.
I started a little prayer group. In fact, I had some music, I put some hymns on, and when the hymns came on, especially, they just lit up. If you start singing those songs again, those memories are still there. And that part of it is not affected by Alzheimer's. And that emotional happiness is not affected by Alzheimer's. So that's a good thing. So faith really helps them to feel still connected with you.
Charlie Johnson, whose wife Dottie eventually moved into skilled nursing here at Reed's Landing, feels that remaining active was crucial to preserving her abilities.
She really was a highly functioning individual. Short-term memory was, of course, the major problem. I went in one time looking for her and couldn't find her. Said, "Where is she?" "Well, she's helping us do decorating." She had been merchandise manager at the store, so that she had a natural talent.
In hopes of medical advancement and an increase in support services for Alzheimer's and dementia, the Alzheimer's Association holds an annual walk. This year's will be on Sunday, September 28th at Holyoke Community College. To offer support and spirituality to those suffering from the disease and their loved ones and caregivers, the first Purple Mass will be held at St. Michael's Cathedral on Saturday, July 12th at 4 p.m. Parishioner Joy Danita Allen's mother suffers from the disease.
Why did I have a Purple Mass for those with dementia? Namely because my mom has dementia, but so does one of the other ladies in the auxiliary. Her mom has dementia, and one of the other ladies' mom passed away with dementia.
On Sundays, I come earlier so we can go to Mass together. Faith, of course, is extremely important in these things.
Faith can connect a bridge for those trapped in the past into the present. For Reel to Reel, this is Julie Beaulieu.
Again, a Mass for those affected by Alzheimer's and dementia. The Purple Mass will be held at St. Michael's Cathedral, 254 State Street in downtown Springfield on Saturday, July 12th at 4 p.m. People of all faiths are welcome. Well, he is known as the Great Miracle Worker, patron saint of the lost, a messenger of hope. St. Anthony of Padua was a powerful Franciscan preacher and teacher. This saint is much beloved in the Catholic Church, and a visit of one of his first-class relics to the Diocese of Springfield is set to take place in a few months. The relic will be on display at St. Anthony Maronite Church in Springfield. Peggy Weber has more.
The visit of a first-class relic of St. Anthony of Padua to the Diocese of Springfield was announced at an 11 a.m. press conference at St. Anthony Maronite Catholic Church on Island Pond Road in Springfield.
Today, on behalf of the Maronite Diocese and the Roman Catholic Diocese, we are pleased to announce a great honor to this community, and the reception of the first-class relics of St. Anthony of Padua will come directly from Italy here to Springfield for 9 days this September. And this is an exceptional event that rarely do those relics come for such an extended period of time.
DuPont said that the event would draw possibly thousands to the church, and that the church has been working closely with the city of Springfield on this special time. Father George Zena, pastor, explained the visit of the relic has a broad appeal.
First of all, I would like to invite everyone who is listening to me and watching me to attend this great and spiritual events which will take place from September the 6th till September the 14th. St. Anthony is the friend to everyone, every human beings, Christian and non-Christians, Catholic, non-Catholic.
He explained that St. Anthony is special to the parish because parishioners prayed to St. Anthony in 1906 when their pastor was ill. After Monsignor Peter Saab was cured, the parish even changed its name to St. Anthony. He added parishioners also think St. Anthony protected the parish when the 2011 tornado destroyed so much property near the church, but St. Anthony's remained untouched.
St. Anthony is the patron of the lost things, and the whole world are lost today. And St. Anthony reminds us today that just to have faith in God, because nobody can give us peace, tranquility, and answer to these conflicts and doubts we have in this world, only the words of God and through St. Anthony.
The 9-day celebration will include special days for very different heritages, such as Italian, Polish, Franciscan, and Vietnamese. There will be 3 Masses a day, novenas, opportunities for confession, a religious goods store, and food served in Cedars Hall. Deacon Enzo DiGiacomo has worked tirelessly on much of the logistics.
The excitement is not only because the relic is coming, but being able to offer to the public and to the parishioners of this parish and all the parishioners in the Springfield Diocese, and then expanding out to New England in total, an opportunity to see, venerate, and pray.
In less than 3 months, St. Anthony's relic will arrive here at this St. Anthony Maronite Church, and the organizers hope that that visit will touch the lives of thousands of people.
It's not just St. Anthony to come and look and venerate, but is to get a new essence of our understanding of people, the love for people, and that's so important today.
These 9 days in September can and just might make a difference in the lives of many. The invitation has been extended, and it is hoped that many will come see the relic and affirm one's belief in the miraculous. For Reel to Reel, I'm Peggy Weber.
Last year, the relic was on tour in honor of the 750th anniversary of the discovery of the bones of St. Anthony by St. Bonaventure. It went to New York City and other regions, drawing very large crowds. For more information and a schedule of events, you can find a link on our website at iobserve.org. And still to come on Reel to Reel, Dan Dumas has a look at some local happenings. This story and much more are still to come on this edition of Reel to Reel.
The annual Catholic Appeal, continuing the tradition of neighbor helping neighbor, responding to Pope Francis's call to serve with love, serving our brothers and sisters throughout life's journey, caring for the less fortunate, walking with those in need. Make your donation of time, talent, or treasure online at diospringfield.org and help us to help our neighbors in need. Support the annual Catholic Appeal.
You rose, our King victorious.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passion's Brother Terrence Scanlon, your Chalice host, inviting you to take time out of your busy life to celebrate God's goodness with us this Sunday morning. This week we celebrate the Feast of Saints Peter and Paul with Father Gary Daly from the UMass Catholic Newman Center. The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection, Sunday morning at 10, right here on 22 News.
I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel to Reel news brief. Well, school is now out for the summer, but not before some final events. In his last public event as the Bishop of Springfield, Timothy McDonnell was honored 2 weeks ago by St. Michael's Academy. Sharon Rulier tells us more.
Students, faculty, parents, and honored guests gathered for a special liturgy at Holy Cross Church, celebrating the end of the academic year and the beginning of a new strategic plan for St. Michael's Academy.
St. Michael, we stand together with you always.
Following the June 2011 tornado that destroyed 2 of its campuses located on the Cathedral High School property, all of the classrooms serving pre-K through 8th grade were relocated to 153 Eddywood Street, the original location of the former Holy Cross School.
And it's really an exciting time for us because we feel that we have overcome the merger, the tornado, and all of the challenges that were ahead of us, and we're finally in a position where we're moving forward and achieving great things. And we're starting to see the benefits of them all over the place, and particularly with our students.
At a reception following the Mass, volunteers and constituents, including Michelle and Donald DeMore and Paul and Josephine Sears, were honored for their generous support of Catholic education. To date, more than $180,000 has been raised for the Fund for St. Michael's Academy, used to support the school's budget.
No doubt St. Michael's will be part of Bishop McDonald's legacy, as will the future of Cathedral High School. This past week, that torch was passed to Bishop Mitchell Rosansky, who attended a reception for the endowment fund started at Bishop McDonald's direction earlier this year. As part of the gathering at the Big Y corporate offices in Springfield, the co-chairs of that campaign were announced. They are Big Y Educational Outreach Administrator Michelle DeMoore, legendary Cathedral soccer coach Joe Pantusco, and Big E CEO Gene Cassidy. Since the launch in February, more than $1 million towards the $10 million goal has been raised. And big dollars were also being raised in Pittsfield, where the annual Catholic Schools of Pittsfield Gala was held. Terry Hegarty has that story.
Celebrating and supporting Pittsfield Catholic schools, nearly 300 gathered at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Pittsfield recently for the annual Evening with the Stars banquet. The gala supports both St. Joseph Central High School and St. Mark Elementary School and raised approximately $100,000. But participants also had fun in the process. In addition to fundraising, the annual dinner gives people the chance to celebrate the accomplishments of alumni. 11 Catholic school supporters were honored, one posthumously, for their community service, faith, and leadership, becoming members of the Catholic Schools of Pittsfield Hall of Fame. One of those 11, Sister of St. Joseph Cecilia James, who is also known as Smiley, taught at St. Joseph Central High School beginning in 1958. At age 92, she told the crowd that she made sure teaching and learning was enjoyable.
Having fun, making them enjoy it. I told them I wanted them to love God and love themselves and love each other and also love learning.
In fact, many of the evening's honorees were taught by Sister Cecilia and had that love of learning instilled in them. George Horton was one of her students at St. Joe's.
I was thinking about the values of faith and community that were instilled in us. And in many ways, our society, those values are threatened. We're divided in many ways. Faith is disappearing for many people. And the idea that St. Joe and Catholic education is there to keep those values in front of people. A society can't survive without constantly thinking about those values.
Other awardees included William Archie, class of 1960, Elizabeth Blazik, M.D., class of 1994, Eleanor Brazeau, class of 1947, honored posthumously, Matthew Collins, class of 1978, Donald Couder, class of 1966, Father Peter Gregory, class of 1958, John Jack J. Martin Sr., class of 1951, Carmen Massimiano, and David O'Brien, class of 1956.
Of course, our Catholic schools are all about faith, and that was on display recently at one local school. Peggy Weber has the story on Prayer Partners.
Hundreds gathered at a special breakfast at St. Mary's School in Lee to celebrate the Prayer Partnership program. Principal Jane Fury described the popular school and parish connection.
This is a wonderful year-long prayer partner program. At the beginning of the year, we ask parish members, we ask family members, we ask alums if they would like to be a prayer partner with one of our students. The list is then organized and students learn who their prayer partner is. Prayer partners get to know the name of the student and the grade level they're in. And during the course of the year, they are praying for each other and special intentions in their classroom and at home, and talking about it at home as well.
The prayer partners met for about an hour and exchanged gifts and cards and talked about their year.
When I was praying for you, all this time I kept this with me. It's a little guardian angel coin.
Sharon DeLorme and Emily Hunter kept each other in their prayers all year. This was the third year for Sharon in the Prayer Partner program.
I like it because it makes you feel connected to another child that isn't your grandchild. And I just said to Emily, the last minute before you close your eyes at night, you say, "Oh, Emily," and you say that prayer. And it just, you feel you're doing something good for these children.
Emily also praised the program.
I just think it's great to be able to spread our faith throughout, not just in our school, but also in our parish and throughout the community.
She gave Sharon a special card about their relationship.
I hope you are having a wonderful year. I am so honored to be your prayer partner. It has been a pleasure praying for you. You will always be in my intentions. Have a great day.
And the principal noted that some of the most enthusiastic prayer partners are the recent graduates of St. Mary's, who enjoyed the program as students and want to continue on the other side of it.
Finally, summer can be a tough time for blood banks, but as Rebecca Drake reports, one local group is seeking to answer that call.
Katie De Silva was just 8 years old when she lost her battle with cancer. But the little girl with the Shirley Temple curls continues to bring hope to others through the annual Katie De Silva Memorial Blood Drive, held each year in July at St. Cecilia Parish in Wilbraham. Katie's mom, Clara, says her daughter was a bright light to all who knew her.
She was like a little bright star in our lives. She was younger than her brother and sister by 7 and 6 years, so they watched her grow up, and they were both very close to her. And she brought a lot of happiness and light into our home.
As a longtime employee of American Red Cross Blood Services in Springfield, Clara knows the benefits blood donations brought to her daughter.
There was one time when she was here at the Blood Cancer Center, and she was just like really weak, and that was one of the times when she was in really bad shape and not in a good mood. And she got blood, and it was a miracle. Like within a couple of hours, it was remarkable the way that she had transformed.
Anna Pirelli, the district manager of donor recruitment, says the Katie De Silva Blood Drive brings in donations at a time when they are desperately needed.
The unique thing about this particular blood drive running on July 1st is that it leads right into the 4th of July holiday. Summer is already a difficult time for us in terms of blood collection because we have our schools that are out, so we're not collecting at the schools, families are on vacation.
There also is something else that is special about this blood drive, says Anna, who is related to the De Silva family.
It is really a family event. So we have homemade food and a really family atmosphere where we remember Katie and just celebrate her life.
And Katie's mom believes that Katie herself would be pleased with the celebration and the generosity of blood donors.
She would have loved it because she loved the party.
And remember, you can always stay informed on all the happenings in our diocese by logging onto our news and information website, iobserve.org. There you'll find up-to-the-minute and accurate news in the Catholic Church, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and beyond. You can also see video reports from Reel to Reel and from the award-winning team at Catholic News Service. That's our news and information website, iobserve.org. I'm Dan Dumas, and that's your Reel to Reel News Brief.
Back in 1989, Hispanic ministry leaders in the diocese recognized there was a need for more Latino youth activities. They created a youth retreat called Encuentro Juvenil. 25 years later, the annual weekend event is still going strong. Terry Hegarty paid a visit this past Memorial Day weekend for the 25th anniversary gathering and has more now on how this milestone was marked with local Latino teens.
More than 100 Hispanic youth spent a weekend without television, without computers or cell phones at Camp Holy Cross in Goshen, but they didn't mind. Participants in the Diocese of Springfield's 25th annual Encuentro Juvenil said that the time away from their everyday lives allowed them to listen more closely to Christ.
My biggest benefit is like all the skits and the messages that Jesus has given to us, and to me especially, because there's been some hard times and you can't go anywhere without him, and it's hard. It gets hard. There's a lot of people who have strong stories, as for I, but Jesus has helped us overcome them.
Activities included the Sacrament of Reconciliation, individual testimonies, time for prayer, free time to enjoy the natural beauty of the campgrounds, and field games. The three-day Encuentro, which began Friday evening and continued through early Sunday evening, is open to youth during their high school years. Jackie Serrano finished her 4th year last year, but felt compelled to come back as a youth leader.
I thought I wasn't done
with what I needed to know from God yet, because there's the thing what we have is called the Santissimo, and you always fall into the Spirit, and they pray over you. But for my past 4 years, I was scared to fall into the Spirit, because I wasn't really sure, I was scared. So then it was really funny, because this theme of this was be not afraid. So I finally let go, and I was not afraid, and I let God come into me, and I fell into the Spirit for the first time. And I felt so different in my heart. It was all warm and fuzzy.
Angel Delgado says that the 25th anniversary milestone is an important one. He should know he's been involved for 24 of those years. He was a participant for 1 year and has helped to organize and implement the weekends ever since.
To me, it's personal because it's bringing younger Latinos to that relationship, that closeness with Christ, and getting them to feel and know that Christ is there all the time, that they belong to a bigger part of the Catholic Church. It's not just nobody really cares about us, but that we're all one giant Catholic family.
Angel says that organizing all of the activities is demanding, but that seeing how the participants respond makes it all worthwhile.
Pretty much they've had a religious experience, they've had prayer experience, music experience, mass celebration, confessions, and on Sundays, unfortunately, sometimes they don't want to go home. They've created a new family here that hopefully continues on as that your Encuentro family that you can find and bring that message back in your parishes.
It's something really special to know that a lot of young people still worship and celebrate God, because even if you're in school or something, people don't talk about God, but now all these children, they're probably going to go back and be like, oh, I had an amazing weekend and this happened. So then by doing that, they're going to talk to their friends and probably help them find the Holy Spirit.
The first few Encuentros were held at the former Passionist Retreat Center in West Springfield, but for almost 2 decades now, the venue has been Camp Holy Cross. One of the biggest benefits of the weekend is its setting. Here, far removed from the city and free of electronic distractions, participants can more easily focus on God. Organizers take advantage of the surroundings to pass along lessons and to help strengthen the faith of participants. A little more than 100 attended this year's celebration. While there have been more attendees in some previous years, Isabel says that the number of participants is just a small indication of success.
It doesn't really matter. As long as we're all together, there's literally no fighting, there's no cursing. We don't feel like we have to be in little cliques all the time. Girls and boys interact, girls interact, guys interact. No one's scared. Once they come here, they're like, oh, I can just relax and just have fun with everyone else.
Parents of the participants processed with their children into the gym for the 3 p.m. closing Mass, which was celebrated by Bishop McDonald. Angel and others hope that Encuentro Juvenil continues well into the future, and that today's young adult leaders will guide it through at least another 25 years. Reporting for Reel to Reel, this is Terry Hegarty.
Looks like the teens had a lot of fun, and it was spiritually enriching as well. We wish the youth and their leaders the best as they continue to take part in activities that will strengthen their faith. Here's to another 25 years. And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. A special note that next weekend, we will begin running our first best of editions of Reel to Reel for most of the summer. But we will be back on August 9th to bring you all of the latest on the plans for the installation of Bishop Mitchell Rosansky as the 9th Bishop of Springfield. But remember, you can always keep up to date on all of the news on the Catholic Church locally and around the world, as well as find daily news reports from our local reporting team. Visit our news and information website, iobserve.org. I will see you next week at this same time for a summer encore edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Have a great week.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.